ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਜੁਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਪੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਪੀ ਸਚ ਇਕ ਅਦਤੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵਾ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਅੰਗਦ ਪੇਵਾ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਗੁਰ ਅਮਰ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਕਰਤਾ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਗੁਰਬਾਰੇ ਪੁਰਖ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਰਜਨ ਸੁਖਦਾਨੀ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਹਰਿ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਗੁਣ ਖਾਨੀ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਹੈ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿ ਰਾਇ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਹਰਿ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਆਏ अर्जुनी तेग बहादुर राय सैभं गुर दसमें सहाय गुर प्रसाद ग्रंथ गुर ज्ञाना वाहे गुरु बंदन भगवान बाणी गुरु गुरु है बाणी विच बाणी अमृत सारे गुरु बाणी कह सेवक जन मने प्रतख गुरु निस्तारे कहाँ बुद्ध प्रभु तुझ हमारी बन सके महिमा जो तहारी हम न सकता से तुम्हारी आप ले हो तुम कथा सजारी सो कह टल गुरु सेविया ऐनिस सहज सभाए दर्शन परस्या गुरु के जन्म मरण दुख जाए दर्शन परस्या गुरु के जन्म मरण दुख जाए वाहिगुरू
सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरू साहिब जी। एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभउ निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच।
वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह। Guru Rup Sat Sangat Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. We're going to continue on with the definitions for the Sri Japji Sahib. At the moment we are still going through the Sri Mool Mantra Sahib. In the previous videos we've gone through the different definitions for Jap, the different types of Jap you have as well. So we went through the Abans, Manas and Bekri. We went through those three. And then we went through the Vaikri, Madhama, Parapasanti. We went through those as well and explained what those were. But now we're going to continue on with the Japji. So just prior to that, there are, within the tikas, within the various commentaries, there are a number of stories. I've not given any stories while we've got along, because those stories can be found all over the internet. So you can find those stories there. There's a story about Bhai Gopalaji. Bhai Gopalaji was a Sikh of Sri Guru Har Gobind Ji, and after the battle at Kartarpur within Jalandhar, Sri Guru Har Gobind Ji asked for somebody to recite the Sri Mool Mantra, the Sri Japji Sahib, with a clean conscience and uttering it with bliss. Bhai Gopalaji did that. The Guru, during that time while the recitation was done, showed a number of things. One, they made a gaddi, a seat, a planquin that was higher than where they were sat, on a higher ground, because it was the Bani of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji. It was the prayers that had given directly from God that were being recited, so respect was shown. Within the Sri Gur Pratap Suraj Prakash, it states that when Ek Onkar was uttered, Sri Guru Har Gobind Ji bowed in reverence. If the Guru is to bow in reverence to Gurbani, then who are we not to? Today, there are a lot of skepticism within the Sikh community and outside the Sikh community, but the traditions of the Gurus will exist and will continue to do that. So Ek Onkar is the Mangal Roop, like we said before. It is the invocation, and at that point Sri Guru Har Gobind Ji bowed. But basically the story states that Bhai Gopalaji uttered the Gurbani with complete faith and devotion. Guru Har Gobind Ji realized that they had to reward such a task, and they thought about bestowing Bhai Gopalaji with all sorts of things, the kingdom of the heavens and whatever not. Bhai Gopalaji at that time saw a Sikh arrive with 5 horses, and all the horses were covered in gold. And upon seeing that, he had at that point desired to have one of those horses and hoped that the Guru would bless him with one of the horses. Guru Har Gobind Ji had just got up and sat straight back down, realizing the wishes and desires of their Sikh. So Maharaj at the end of that explained to Bhai Gopalaji that obviously he got given the horse, but Maharaj was actually going to bestow upon him the Guru Gaddi. They were going to make him the next Guru because of how well he recited Gurbani. So that's one of the stories that you'll find there. The second story that you'll find is by Bhai Lakhuji, Bhai Lakhu Darvi. He was from Lahore and he was known as a robber. He was a bandit at the time, and people feared him. But upon meeting Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, he learnt the Sri Japji Sahib off by heart, and he used to recite it daily. And the Sangat used to come and listen to him and learn the Japji Sahib from him. And he went from being this robber who was known as an outlaw to being a saint, all because of the Sri Japji Sahib. The third story appears within the Katha by Sant Gyani Kartar Singh Ji Pindrawale. Within that Katha, they talk about Sant Gyani Sundar Singh Ji when they went to Calcutta. And while they went to Calcutta, there was a tantric saint who was trying to use his spiritual abilities to burn Sant Sundar Singh Ji Pindrawale because of the praise that they had gained, and he was jealous. When he tried to use his incantation and trick upon the saint, upon Sant Gyani Sundar Singh Ji, it backfired because Sant Gyani Sundar Singh Ji was reciting the Sri Mool Mantra Sahib at the time. And instead of burning Sant Gyani Sundar Singh Ji, the saint himself, the tantric himself, self-immolated and died. And then the last story you can have is within the Katha of Sant Avtar Singh Ji Badani Kalawale, which is a story of Bhai Gurbakh Singh Patwari, who was a resident here in Leicester, and about the power that the Mool Mantra possessed and the Japji Sahib possessed when he met a fake preacher from the Islamic faith who wanted to convert him. And instead, Bhai Gurbakh Singh Ji showed his faith and reverence to the Sikh scriptures and taught this individual about the Sri Mool Mantra Sahib. So those are the 4 stories you can go and read. But now what we're going to do is we're going to continue on with the Sri Mool Mantra Sahib and see how far we get now. Kamalpreet Singh, if you can start.
Jap.
Jap. Last time we covered most of the definitions of Jap. Actually, we covered all the definitions of Jap, but the reason we've gone through Jap again today is because when you start any religious text, there are a number of significant subjects that come up that you have to fulfill those criteria within a text. So those subjects are Ish, Riki, Shakti, Shand, Kilak and Bij. These 6. I'll explain what they are one by one. Within the Veds, these are all questions that are asked with regards to any text that's created. Whether it comes to the Upanishads, the Veds, the Surtis, Simritis, they want to know these questions. And it's the same here. Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji explained. Sant Gyani Sundar Singh Ji explained, and Sant Gyani Gurbachan Singh Ji explained these topics, these criteria. And they explain. First one is Isht. Isht means the person of devotion. And here, the topic of devotion within the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji or the Sri Japji Sahib itself, or the Sri Mool Mantra is a Kalpurkh Vaheguru, is the timeless God. So that's the first criteria that's fulfilled. The second one is Riki. Riki here means the writer, the creator. And here the writer and creator is Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So you need to have knowledge of who's written these. This is one of the issues that many of the Sanatan worshippers have with their Upanishads. The Upanishads are full of knowledge. However, in any of the Upanishads, none of the writers' names appear. So when they're trying to fulfill this criteria, they're unable to do so. Well, that's what it is. But the third one is Shakti. Shakti here is where was the ability to create this Bani, this sacred text. And with this one, it's Kartarpur. Kartarpur is the place where Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji rested and ended their life. And that's where this is recited. And Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji then compiled it into the Bani that we see today. The fourth one is Shant. Shant is the musical tone or the measure. The musical tone or the measure with regards to the Sri Japji Sahib, unlike the rest of Gurbani, apart from Ragmala, within Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, every other Bani almost is done in a specific meter. I know I've just mentioned Ragmala, it's actually more than that. You got the Sanskriti Slok, Mahalla Pehla and Mahalla Panjwa. Funhe, Gatha, Chabole. And then you've got the Bhagat's sloks, Bhagat Faridji's and Bhagat Kabirji's sloks. After that, you got the Svaiya Sri Mukhwak Mahalla Panjwa. Then you've got the Svaiya of the Gurus. Then you've got the slok Varate Vadik. And then you've got Sri Guru Angad, Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji sloks. And then you've got obviously Mandavani. And then you've got the Ragwans. All this is without a shand. It's not in a poetical musical form. It's not given. The music that it's supposed to be sung to is not donated there. It's not stated. But again, with the Sri Japji Sahib, although it says Japji Sahib within all the Gurkha, or Jap Sahib or Japani Sahib, actually within the Puratan Janam Sakhis, the life stories of the hagiographic accounts of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, it states that Sri Japji Sahib is actually uttered in the shand of Asa and Gujari, these three rags. Asa is for hope. They're like Asa Kivar, Asa Divar. So, and Gujari is the second one, the second musical tone. So these two tones are used in creating the Sri Japji Sahib. So we've covered 4 things so far. The 5th one is Gilak. The Gilak here is who is the one who compiled it or put it together. With regards to this isn't the same as the one that we covered earlier, which is within the Riki. This is who put it together in a standardized format for all to read. And with regards to that, the answer is Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji recited this Bani and put it at the start of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And the last one is Bij. The Bij is what is the essence? What is the reason for this scripture? And the reason for it is Ik Oankar. Ik Oankar states that God is one, He's the illuminator of all. And this is the invocation. The whole purpose of this Gurbani is for that. It is for Ik Oankar. So those are the 6 conditions that are there. 6 conditions that Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji made sure were correct and that the Sanatanis understood it. So that's the last definition of Aad, for Jap. I just wanted to go through that last Aad, that last definition, before we close up that bit. Now we're going to go on to the rest of the Gurbani, and we're going to start off with completing this definition before we go on to the next. So Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji are there still with the Siddhs have explained from Ik Oankar to Jap all the definitions. And then the Siddhs thought they'd be clever. At that point they realised the intellect of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and they decided to see if they could manipulate him or trick him. So they said, this Vaheguru that you've talked about, this God that you've talked about, this omnipresent form, you've stated that He is such. Aad Sach. Sorry, Aad Sach is coming. Satanam. You've already stated that He is true. But is He true in all 3 time zones? Is He true in all 3 time periods? The reason why they ask this question is because although if we look in Western culture, we only have 3 time zones, the past, present and future. But within Sanatan faith, there's 4. We'll go on to explain them in a minute. But the reason why they asked was they wanted Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji to answer the question for the 3 time zones. And then they would have turned around and go, actually there's 4. So what about the 4th one? But Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the knower of all, decided to answer this question. And what he did was, he replied,
Aad Sach.
Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, look Siddhs, Aad Sach. They said before there was any creation within the whole universe, God remained the form of truth. And then Guru Nanak Dev Ji continued,
Jugaad Sach.
Jugaad, right? Here, what it means, there are a number of terms. Jugaad. Aad means the primal. Jug. So after the primal, the time phases started. The time phases of Sat Jug, Treta, Dwapar, Kal Jug. These are the 4 time frames according to the cyclic time zones of Eastern philosophy. And it states that during these time zones, during these different eras, God was the form of the truth. And that was His form. And then Maharaj continued,
Habhi Sach.
Maharaj said, Habhi Sach. They say the form of Waheguru at the moment is true as well, and it always has been. And Maharaj continues,
Nanak Hosi Bhi Sach.
Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji then state, look, even in the future, the form of God will be true. And that's whether that's the form of God while creation exists or after creation exists, God will continue to be the form of truth. And the Siddhs hearing this said, look, we only asked about the 3 time frames. Why have you told us about the 4? And Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, look, what we have stated, it is
Aad Sach.
Aad Sach. We've stated, look, prior to anything being created, Vaheguru was the causal of all, and he was the complete truth. And the Maharaj continues,
Jugaad Sach.
Jugaad. Jugaad here means to continue to explain, to commentate. They said, look, we are commentating upon Sach. Sach means here Nischay, which means to have faith. They said, we have firm faith in Vaheguru. So what you need to understand is in the previous definition, Jugaad Sach means the time when all the cyclic time zones or eras created. Here, the term, you got Aad Sach, which is the primal truth. Jugaad Sach. Jugaad means, it changes here, like I said. Jugaad first means to deliberate, to commentate upon. Sach here means Nischay. Nischay means to have faith. And they say, look, we are commentating on with complete faith, and you should too, that Maharaj is
Habhi Sach.
in this time period, that he is true now. And that is his form. And they continue on.
Nanak Hosi Bhi Sach.
Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji state that, look, even within the future, the form of truth will be the Lord. So here Guru Nanak Dev Ji, that with the same set of definitions, Aad Sach, Jugaad Sach, Habhi Sach, Nanak Hosi Bhi Sach, have spoken about the 3 time frames and the 4 time frames. In this definition now, they've spoken about the 4 time frames. And then the Siddh said, okay, what about Sindhikal? Sindhikal is when time has just started. The primal time has started. And they say, what about that? You've not spoken about that. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji then carries on answering the questions of the Siddhs and says,
Jugaad Sach.
They say, look, when the time zones started, when the eras started, when Treta, Kaljug, Dwapar, Satyajug had started, even then Vaheguru was the form of truth, and always will be the form of truth. The Siddhs hearing this, they realised that they were no longer going to be able to dupe Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, bowed to the feet of the Guru, and they all sat with Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji while they answered their questions. So for today, that's the first lot of definitions on Aad Sach, Jugaad Sach, up till Nanak Hosi Bhi Sach. And what we're going to do is we're going to end that there, and next time we'll continue on with the same definitions for the same parts of the Sri Mool Mantra Sahib. So Kamalpreet Singh, if you could read the Gurbani, please.
Ik Oankar Satnam Karta Purkh Nirbhau Nirvair Akal Murth Ajuni Saibang Gurprasad Jap Aad Sach Jugaad Sach Habhi Sach Nanak Hosi Bhi Sach.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. He Gobind, He Gopal, He Dayal Lal, Prananath Anath Sakhe, Deen Dard Nivar. He Samrat Agam Puran Mohe Mehatar, Andhkup Mahapayan, Nanak Paryotar. Aye Prabhu Sarnagati, Kirpane Dayal, Ek Yakar Harman Vaste, Nanak Hotan Hale, Vaheguru Nam Jaja, Charisra Par, Jo Sharda Kar Sev De, Guru Paryotar Nar, Jo Sharda Kar Sev De, Guru Paryotar Nar. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.